Good evening and welcome to the news. It's 4 days and counting down to the end of the year. So our package will have some review of activities in the outgoing year. And of course, developing stories in some parts of the country, as well as views and interviews about Nigeria and Nigerians. Tonight, Ondo State has a new governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, sworn in by the chief judge of the state following the demise of Arakuri of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu. Aketi is dead. Ondo State Governor Rotimi succumbs to illness. Ondo State citizens, presidency, governors, APC, PDP, mourn Arakuri, the legal luminary and board administrator. A former speaker speaks no more. President Tinubu, leaders of the National Assembly and political associates describe the death of former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gali as a great loss to the nation. And on conflict resolution, Vice President Kashim Shettima in Plateau over crisis in Bokas, Barkin Ladi and Mango. On the environment, Sagana community, Bayelsa State raises alarm on ocean surge as the Atlantic threatens to swallow area. It's not all doom and gloom as we bring inspiring stories of human accomplishments, government and private sector empowerment, food production and sport. Join us all through the bulletin as the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Yenwei John. Welcome. President Bola Tinubu is assuring Nigerians that his administration has taken some transformational steps and positive results will soon manifest in the country's economy. President Tinubu gave the reassurance at a meeting with Lagos State stakeholders, which included political and traditional leaders. State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab reports.
A long wait paid off as the assemblage witnessed the arrival of President Bola Tinubu, a leader they have apparently missed on the account of his national and international assignments. It was a grand reception for the father of New Lagos in Marina, and equally a rare opportunity well utilized at a family-like gathering. In a reassurance of his determination to work for a greater Nigeria, President Tinubu acknowledged the challenging time in town. But believing in his team, the president pointed out that every decision taken by his government has been calculated in the best interest of the country.
We have to run an inclusive government. There are some areas of our country still suffering devastation of hunger and lack of education, which is the proper tool to fight poverty. We are, and I want you to join the campaign to start the enrollment of our children into schools, building more schools, giving food to our children in schools.
He, however, emphasized on collaboration among the tiers of government to ensure development in education, health, and other sectors to fight poverty and terrorism.
I assure you, we will work hard to give you the best economy and the best opportunity you can imagine.
But despite the global challenges which Nigeria has shared from and the socio-economic realities in the country, his followers here are proud of the policies and decisions taken so far at the center.
You have not looked back. You have shown the audacity of hope. You have shown the audacity of your belief, of your resolve to take Nigeria to another level.
Expect that Nigeria will be prosperous. with your vision. It is a process. Nigeria has to be patient for that process. There's no gain without pain.
Independence of state houses of assembly and local government autonomy are part of the issues put before the president to address.
We have 30-something houses of assembly. One cannot stand alone. We must support us. We must put everything to help other houses of assembly so that we will stop idea of removing the roof of House of Assembly. We will stop the ideas of blocking the House of Assembly. We will stop demolition of House of Assembly.
And in the midst of their request, they appreciated all development foundations the former governor in the state had laid for generations to come to build on and benefit. From Lagos, Musbau, Dan Wahab, NTA News.
The acting governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has been sworn in as the substantive and 7th democratically elected governor of Ondo State. And this follows the death of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. The swearing-in ceremony was presided over by the Chief Judge of Ondo State, Olusegun Odushola, in the presence of top government functionaries, religious leaders, party faithful, and other eminent personalities. Kayode Oludari reports.
I solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The new governor assured the people of Ondo State that under his watch, the administration shall continue to advance the welfare of the people.
I accept this onerous responsibility of taking over the reins of governance and affairs of our state, following the unfortunate loss and passing of our beloved governor.
The people are expecting quite a lot from the new governor. So my prayer is that God will give him all the enablement, will give him the wisdom.
He should look into the life of the civil servants. He should look into the life of the agriculture. He should look into the life of the economy, and then the spiritual welfare too.
He has learned how to govern. He knows much about governance. So now the battle of leadership has now been given to him.
The swearing-in of the new governor became necessary after the demise of the late governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who passed on in the early hours of Wednesday, 27th of December, 2023. This is the first time in the history of Ondo State that a transition in an administration will be taking place following the death of a sitting governor. Lucky Aiyedatiwa, born on the 12th January 1965, is a Nigerian businessman and politician who has served as a deputy governor of Ondo State from 2021 to 2023 under Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. In Akure, Kayode Olorundare, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the late governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, will be remembered for his invaluable contributions to advancing the cause of democracy and legal profession, as the state and Nigeria in particular continue to mourn his passing. For this and more on his life and times, Ifeoluwa Omoshule has details.
The Owo-born Nigerian lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria served as governor from 2017 till date. He was, until his death, the chairman Governors Forum for Southwest Zone. Akeredolu adopted the prefix Arakunrin instead of Mr., while his nickname is Aketi. He started his political journey as Attorney General of Ondo State between 1997 and 1999. He had his education as Aquinas College, Akure, Loyola College, Ibadan, Oyo State, and Comprehensive High School, Ayetoro, for his secondary school education and higher school education. Aketi then proceeded to the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, to study law, and he graduated in 1977. He was called to the Nigerian bar in 1978. He became a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, in 1998, and 10 years later, he emerged as the president of the Nigerian Bar Association in 2008. Akeredolu was also a managing partner at the law firm of Olujimi and Akeredolu, which he co-founded with Chief Akinolujimi, a former Attorney General and Minister of Justice of Nigeria. He died on Wednesday. In his lifetime, Akeredolu was a legal practitioner par excellence and an astute politician loved by all and sundry in Ondo State and across the country. He was also the patron, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Oyo State branch. Oluwarotimi, a dogged fighter, tenacious advocate, and diligent solicitor, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu SAN is an accomplished family man, a detribalized Nigerian.
He is a friend of the poor. I'm deeply pained by his death because he cares about my well-being and that of the other neighbors.
Aketi was happily married to Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu and blessed with children. He would be remembered for his courage, patriotism, and immeasurable contributions to Nigeria's constitutional, socio-political development, and his stand for the establishment of the security outfits in the southwest called Amotekun. In Akure, Feoluwa Moshili, NTA News.
Our correspondent, Tony Batire, is at the center of the Akure metropolis and joins us now. Tony, it has been quite a day in Akure, from the announcement of the death of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu to the swearing-in of his deputy and acting governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, as the new governor. Could you please give us a sense of what is happening in the state at the moment?
Yes, it has been a sad day in Ondo State, particularly in Akure, where I am presently, as the people woke up to the news of the demise of the former governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who passed on at the age of 67 after a prolonged illness. All through the illness, the prolonged illness, his deputy governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has been acting in his absence until today, when he was sworn in as the substantive and seventh executive governor of Ondo State. At the swearing-in, he promised to stand on the legacies of the former governor, especially as he has tried in establishing a security architecture in Ondo State. At the moment, Akure, where I am presently, is very calm. People are going about their normal activities, as they are also expectant of an improved administration from the new governor. After the swearing of the new governor, he has made some 5 appointments, and they are the chief press secretary in person of Prince Ebenezer Adeniyan, Sunday Abire as special assistant to the governor on new media. Political matters went to Smart Omodubi, photography to Moturayo Oyedele, while domestic government house went to Temitayo Ikperekpolu. And we expect many more appointments as time goes on. That's the situation from here in Akure.
Many thanks, Tony, for the update there. But still staying with Ondo State now and away from Tony, indigents of Ondo State say Governor Rotimi Akeredolu will be remembered for his courage and resourcefulness while piloting the affairs of the state. They urged the new governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, not to jettison the bold initiatives of his former principal and predecessor.
For his life, he has done his own, the little he can do before he passed away. But we are expecting the new sworn governor to act well and do his own best, as his master has done. In every area.
Well, during his lifetime, was a very good man and an hardworking somebody. Well, we all fought for the demise and the loss of him. As the new governor has been sworn, the deputy, we also pray that he is able to do more than what his predecessor has done. We want him to look about the security issue in Ondo State, the road networks.
I just had it this evening, right? And really it's a painful thing to me, which my belief and my prayer for everyone is that the new person, the new governor that was just sworn in today, my prayer is that the same thing that happened to our old governor, Governor Akeredolu, will not happen to him, and we will all enjoy him.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu, in a condolence message to the Akeredolus, say it is a difficult task to pen a tribute to the departed soul. It is a more difficult job in our African culture when one is compelled to do so for a younger person, Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, a beloved brother, confidant, political soulmate, and the executive governor of Ondo State. The president notes that it is an impossible task to fully capture in words Rotimi's towering figure and his human essence. Rotimi, he says, late Akeredolu was a man who moved our nation towards equity, fairness, and justice in his strident advocacy against every form of injustice in our country through the instrumentality of the law as a senior advocate, attorney general of his beloved state, as president of the Nigerian Bar Association and governor of Ondo State. Similarly, the federal government of Nigeria commiserates with the Akeredolu family, the government and people of Ondo State, the Southwest Geopolitical Zone, and the Nigeria Governors Forum on the passing of His Excellency Rotimi Akeredolu, Governor of Ondo State. A statement by the Minister of Information and National Orientation describes Akeredolu as a towering presence on the legal landscape, rising to lead the Nigerian Bar Association at a critical moment in our nation's journey. He capped this record of professional excellence with distinguished service as a public servant and administrator, winning 2 consecutive terms as elected governor of Ondo State. His courage and dynamism found recognition in his emergence as the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, a position that he deployed ceaselessly to champion justice, security, equity, and true federalism. And still talking about the departed, chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, has expressed sadness over the death of Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SEN, describing him as an exceptional statesman who made indelible marks in public service. The forum commiserates with the Progressives Governors Forum, the government and people of Ondo State, the Nigerian Bar Association, as well as the immediate family of the late governor of the Sunshine State. Also, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, mourns the passage of the executive governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. In a condolence statement, Ganduje describes the death of the former national president of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, as a great loss not only to Ondo State, but also to the entire country, the progressive family, the legal profession, and the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. In the same vein, the People's Democratic Party is saddened by the death of the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, SAN. A statement by the party's spokesperson, Debo Olugunagba, says late Governor Akeredolu was a courageous and amiable personality, brilliant lawyer, and outstanding administrator with deep understanding and capacity for leadership. And now Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu mourns the death of Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, describing his demise as the loss of a visionary leader. In a statement, the First Lady expresses her deepest condolences to the immediate family of the governor, as well as government and people of Ondo State in their moments of grief, noting that late Governor Akeredolu will be remembered for his commitment to public service and dedication to the betterment of Ondo State. The First Lady praised that his wife, Betty Akeredolu, their children, and the people of Ondo State find strength and solace during this trying time. The former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gali Umar Naaba, has been laid to rest in Kano, according to the Islamic rites. Muhammad Ibrahim reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima was amongst dignitaries that attended the funeral prayer held at the Emir's palace.
The funeral prayer was led by the Chief Imam of Kano State, Professor Zahiruddin Sani, amidst different personalities. The late Gali Umar Naaba was a Nigerian politician and a former Speaker of the House of Representatives. The deceased was described as one of Nigeria's active lawmakers.
He's a leader, and as a leader, we'll always miss him for what he has done to Nigeria, especially in the field of legislation.
He spoke for democracy, he defended democracy, and he defended and projected the image of our country and of course our National Assembly.
During his lifetime, Naaba has received honors from government agencies and other organizations in appreciation of his exceptional political career, pioneering political independence and legislative progress, and profound defense of democracy, the rule of law, as well as the Constitution.
During his time, he protected the integrity of the National Assembly.
Some exit will provide a vacuum that will be too hard to fill. He stood by the democracy up to the end of his life.
Age 65, the deceased is survived by a wife and 10 children. In Kano, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
Late Gali Naba became the second Speaker of the House of Representatives at the onset of the current Fourth Republic in 1999. In this tribute, National Assembly correspondent Dietary tells us more about the Kano lawmaker, described by many as one of the pillars of Nigeria's legislative practice.
Nigerians woke up Wednesday morning to news of the death of former Speaker, House of Representatives, Gali Naba, at the age of 65. The late Gali Naba became a household name in Nigeria's political firmament when he emerged Speaker of the House of Representatives after the certificate crisis that compelled the first Speaker of the Fourth Republic, Salisu Buhari, to resign. Naba, from Kano State and elected member of the House of Representatives in 1999, made history then as the 8th Speaker of the Green Chamber from 1999 to 2003, and the first to emerge by an unprecedented consensus in Nigeria's Fourth Republic. The late Gali Naba is remembered as a strong proponent of the independence of the legislature, renowned for marching in with members of the House into the Senate chamber to show solidarity with late Senate President Chuba Okadigbo at the peak of the impeachment plot against the presiding officer of the Senate in the year 2000.
His stern position that the legislature should be independent, that cost him his second-term election.
He was also famous for mobilizing lawmakers against the purported third-term bid of former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
At the time that he would have just kept quiet and then enjoyed the patronage of the executive arm of government, he stood firmly, resolutely, and bravely, and I dare say, and ensured that nobody pocketed the House of Representatives.
Many also recalled Naba's brilliant speech in response to former American President Bill Clinton when he visited the National Assembly.
There were issues whether he should visit because Gali was presiding. And he stood his ground on everything. He never looked for comfort. He looked for what is right.
That was the typical courage and brave nature of Naba. He couldn't have chosen a better audience to deliver that speech that he did.
In a tribute, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, says the late Naba was one of Nigeria's finest lawmakers. The Speaker notes, and I quote, "Right Honorable Gali Naba was a special breed as a lawmaker. He showed leadership as Speaker of the Fourth House. He inspired members of the House under his leadership in many ways. Furthermore, he championed the first and only successful veto of a sitting president, leading to the establishment of the NDDC." End of quote. The late Gali Naba is also described as a public commentator, always ready to pass on institutional memory to present-day leaders and younger generation. Until his death, he was a lecturer at the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies postgraduate program. The media continues to be awash with tributes to the late lawmaker, who many say took some landmark decisions in furtherance of the country's democratic journey. Dietary, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu sympathizes with the Naba family, the government and people of Kano State over the passing of Gali Naba, former Speaker of the House of Representatives. The late Naba was Speaker of the House of Representatives following the return of democracy in Nigeria from 1999 to 2003, succeeding Salisu Buhari. President Tinubu expresses profound grief at the loss, recalling the contributions of the late former lawmaker to nation building through legislation, advocacy and policy. The President recalls Speaker Naba's determined struggle to defend the functionality and role of the legislature in governance, describing him as a disciplined and resolute politician. President Tinubu prays for the repose of the soul of the departed and comfort for those who mourn this painful loss. Also, the federal government of Nigeria commiserates with the Naaba family and the government and people of Kano State on the passing of Alhaji Gali Umar Naaba, the second Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives and the Fourth Republic. Naaba earned a name and reputation for himself as a committed Democrat and a fearless politician who resolutely believed in the doctrine of separation of powers that is at the foundation of all functioning democracies. In a statement, he was described as a dogged administrator who fought and survived many political battles and helped cement the reputation of the House of Representatives as a pro-people institution. The legacies of his leadership of the Fourth House of Representatives are still very much with us in the legislation passed and the institutions and parliamentary precedents established. Also, President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, expresses shock over the death of Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu as the SAN, describing him as a nationalist and the Iroko of the Sunshine State. Senator Akpabio, in a condolence message, says Akeredolu was a leader that knew his onions as he spent his active life fighting for justice. He also notes that the former lawmaker Gali Umar Naaba was one of the defenders of Nigeria's democracy. Similarly, Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas is saddened over the death of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, saying it is a painful loss. And Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu commiserates with Ondo government over Akeredolu's demise and condoles with the family of late Gali Umar Naaba, describing his death as a colossal loss. Still on condolences, former Governor of Abia State and Chairman, Senate Committee on Privatization, Dr. Orji Kalu says Governor Rotimi Akeredolu was a bold and courageous politician. Senator Orji also condoles the Naaba family over the death of the former Speaker, Gali Umar Naaba, saying the deceased had a passion for service to humanity. Meanwhile, former President of the Senate, Senator David Mark, also mourns the death of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State and former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gali Umar Naaba, and describes both as leaders who contributed to the growth of Nigeria. Former President Buhari mourns the demise of Akeredolu and Naaba. Former President Muhammadu Buhari mourns the passing of Governor Akeredolu of Ondo State, describing him as a towering political and legal luminary. While condoling with the family of the deceased and government of Ondo State, the former president says he has lost a valued friend and prays that his soul finds eternal rest. Similarly, in the message to the Naaba family in Kano, the government and the people of the state, the former president describes the demise of the former Speaker, House of Representatives, as a national loss and prays for God to forgive his wrongdoings. President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to ensure that perpetrators of the heinous killings in Plateau State are arrested and brought to justice. He stated this in a message through the Vice President Kashim Shettima when he was in Bokas about the recent attack in the state. Ndeyang Adayaba Gang has details.
In Bokas local government area, where more than 12 villages were recently attacked by unknown gunmen. These attacks has attracted condemnation from across various sectors of the Nigerian society.
Some survivors of the attacks were at Bokas Stadium, where they received a message of hope and commitment to their safety and well-being from the federal government. Vice President Kashim Shettima says, Mr. President is deeply saddened by the tragedy which shattered the joy of Christmas, urging the people to resist the temptation to succumb to sectional division.
While it may seem that you are all alone, I assure you that this government, and most particularly President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is here to protect you. This government is here to deliver justice.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang says the visit by the Vice President is a demonstration of the political will of President Tinubu to deal with the incessant attacks being experienced in parts of the state.
I have discussed at length with Mr. President, and there are many decisions we have taken, we have agreed upon.
and I will not rest until those decisions are implemented. I therefore want to appeal to you to remain calm.
The Vice President, along with the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, met with the Plateau State Council of Chiefs and Emirs and religious leaders, as well as critical players in the security architecture of the state, towards finding a workable solution to the recurring attacks. In Jos, Indenyan and the Abuja, NTA News.
And still on the Plateau attack, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approves immediate humanitarian response in support of victims of the Christmas Eve Plateau massacre. A statement says the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, notes that following the presidential directive, the ministry has swung into action with immediate collaboration with the Plateau State government to bring succor to the survivors of the unfortunate attack and the affected communities. Dr. Edu says the federal government is unrelenting in its efforts to ensure that every Nigerian in all parts of the country experiencing humanitarian crisis are catered in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Also, the federal government of Nigeria strongly condemns the recent killings in Bokas and Barkin-Ladi local government areas of Plateau State. A statement by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, reiterates the commitment of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration to securing every inch of Nigerian territory and ensuring that all forms of criminality by terrorists, bandits and militants are tackled boldly and decisively. The statement adds that President Tinubu has directed security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators of these heinous killings are fished out and brought to justice. The federal government acknowledges the deep pains being felt by all the victims of these attacks and pledges to scale up collaboration with and support of the state government in the collective task of ensuring lasting peace and security in Nigeria. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, condemns the heinous attacks on numerous villages which resulted in the loss of lives and property in Bokas and Barkin-Ladi local government areas of Plateau State. A statement by the force indicates that the IGP has ordered the immediate deployment of additional manpower and resources to Plateau State to assist the local police authority and other security apparatus to effectively manage the crisis and ensure the safety of the residents in the affected local government areas and the entire state. Similarly, the IGP has also directed the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department and his counterparts in the Department of Force Intelligence to constitute an investigative team to unravel the circumstances surrounding the incident and bring those responsible to justice. Time for a break. Please stay. Welcome back. 5 billion naira Ibarakwa East Edo Development Endowment, founded by a member representing the federal constituency, Adiremi Oseni, has been inaugurated. The inauguration marked the Ibarakwa East Edo Federal Constituency first stakeholders forum and mega empowerment program in Ibadan. Ayomiku Ajibola has the details.
A world that often seems consumed by individualism and self-interest, there is a beacon of hope that can illuminate the path towards a better society, giving back to the community. The act of selflessness, contributing to the well-being of others, not only benefits those in need, but also enriches lives in a way not initially anticipated. Member representing Ibarakwa East, Edo Federal Constituency, Aderemi Oseni, while empowering 5,000 people from his constituency, said his vision and goal is to nurture the next generation of leaders and entrepreneurs within Ibarakwa East and Edo in Oyo State by empowering and supporting the emergence of youth millionaires within the next 12 years. The roadmap for the development and transformation of his constituency, according to him, encompasses a wide range of initiatives aimed at addressing the core need of the community.
This roadmap aims to outline the area of interest and initiatives necessary as people representatives to prepare the constituency into a new era of growth and prosperity.
Anything that will bring progress to the local government, which is outside politics. You can see PDP, APC, NNDP, everybody was saying.
It is what I've worked for during the campaign, engineering and everything. I think I deserved it.
12-member board of trustee and advisory governing council board for Ibarakwa East Edo Development Association were also inaugurated. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
There is no doubt that the feminist movement has won the hearts of the global community, inspiring the can-do spirit of a special gender. When one of our correspondents was asked to put on scale one of the critical contributions of this special breed in keeping the family and community out of the chains of poverty, he was asked to visit Dobi, a community in Gwagwalada local council of the FCT. What he encountered was amazing. Let's see.
The community in Gwagwalada Area Council is blessed with some mountains that has formed a kind of cycle around the community. What I would like to tell you today is about a gender in Dobi community that has made itself an excellent gender, doing things that the community is very proud of.
The move, a mix of the good and ugly, and a heartwarming encounter with a spatial gender. We followed without hesitation, and when we finally arrived at their destination, a flowing rocky river unleashing its hidden treasure. And for the women, hard, difficult and impossible is not on the list of their priorities. But we can.
I do this to help my family. If I get, we eat. If I don't come here, we stay hungry.
In order to make sense of the pains these women go through every day to be able to provide for their family, I asked how much of this bowl they will fetch from this river to this place to make a truck. They say 500 of this.
Back to the trinkets of the sons that butter the bread of the women of Dobi, a bigger picture emerged.
But this river does not only flow and brings in sand for these women to gather and make for some change to keep up their family. It is also considered by others as King Solomon's mines.
King Solomon's mines, having its treasure sorted out by women and children. And meters away, a group of young boys trying their luck. But just as the camera focuses on the mines, the signs of danger lurking around. So we decided to call it a day. But another look at the woman, the most hardworking carrying a baby. So I wonder if she availed herself of antenatal care. No, was her answer. And so far, she has 2 children with the 3rd kicking. This could be one of the reasons Nigeria ranks one of the highest in maternal mortality. In Dobi, Gwagwalada Area Council of Abuja, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
Many thanks, Abdullahi, for that package. But you know what to say. If you want something said, ask a man. But if you want something done, ask a woman. All right. Looking at other stories now, one of the many good things about the various communities of Borno State is the uncommon resilience of their spirit that would simply not let evil triumph. Even in the face of deadly experiences, they simply pick up their pieces and forge ahead. Correspondent Major Madam, just back from Zabar Mari, one of the communities that a few weeks ago recorded casualties from remnants of insurgents, reports on the people and their thriving culture of productivity.
A smooth ride on beautiful road is a guarantee as one leaves Maiduguri for Zabarmari. A standard school at the entry of the community is another proof of government presence in the lives of the people. The first impression here is that this town has conquered hunger and has surplus to export to others. We opted to go in not by the road leading to the town, but by meandering through their farmlands, as activities has commenced in earnest for dry season agriculture. While government and organized bodies advocate for all year-round agriculture, here they live it in practical terms. Their farming exploits speak of a people that truly mean business. From their able-bodied to the aged, women and girls not exempted, not even this kid.
None of the communities around here produces as much rice as we do here. We don't have any job here except farming. We need support of the government.
From the farms we headed to the town. We shared the pathways with heart of sheep. Herdmen are all over the place. This signifies safety of the bushes around. When Boko Haram insurgents were in charge of the environs, the herdmen had to leave. Their return now is a positive signal. Moving further, we came across this.
The story of the Zabarmari in Jere local government area of Borno State is like that of other communities across Borno State that are left with a lot of relics of prolonged and protracted years of Boko Haram insurgency. Where I'm standing is a protection ditch constructed around the town by the armed forces in order to protect the town from the influx of the Boko Haram insurgents.
The attraction here is good catch of the day. They do their fishing as a community. And here comes the secret of the large tonnage of rice being evacuated from this community. Traditional rice milling keeps them productively engaged. The system is eco-friendly. They use leftover millet stacks to fire the steamers, not firewood that would have led to mass felling of trees. They claim with strong conviction that with needed support, they can produce half of the food requirements of Borno State.
One person here can train 100 youths in this act of business.
Evidently, the spirit of Zabarmari is simply unyielding and unconquerable. In Maiduguri, Maijama Adamu, NTA News.
And from Zabarmari, we head to Sangana community in Brass local government area of Bayelsa State, which is now on the verge of being submerged if decisive measures are not promptly taken by relevant government agencies to redeem the situation. Baratupere Awe, who visited the community, reports that 200 meters of the community has already been eroded by ocean surge.
On the 10th of August 2023, Governor Dietary, on an impact assessment visit to Odioma, a community also in Brass local government area, calling on the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) and relevant agencies of government to assist Odioma, Sangana and other coastal communities on the devastation from ocean encroachment. Sangana community, which has lost over 200 meters of its land to ocean surge, are living in fear as houses, farmlands and other structures are constantly eroded.
There's no way they can go to reside anywhere again, because each time they build a house, in the next 3-6 months, erosion have got to them. So they have been making makeshift buildings every now and then.
The field we are using is no more here. The road we are using to my father's house, is no more here.
Inhabitants of the affected community, while on a peaceful procession, appealed to NDDC to include the Sangana Ocean Embankment project in the Commission's 2024 budget and re-awarding the contract to check frequent ocean encroachments into the community.
Contract was awarded to by NDDC to Jome, and that contract was haphazardly done. Today you can see that the community has gone halfway, and we are crying for help.
For indigents of Sangana community, if nothing is done urgently by relevant agencies of government, the community stands at threat of extinction in the coming years. In Yenegua, Baratwaipre Awe, NTA News.
The effect of climate change there, it's a terrible situation that needs to be fixed. All right, year 2023 is in its twilight with just few days to usher in a new year. Many Nigerians are still hopeful that the outgoing year is still pregnant with lots of accomplishments. In this report, Joel Kukuola sought to know how Lagosians actualize their goals and resolutions in the year.
Every year, Nigerians set agenda for themselves, popularly called New Year resolutions, which they intend to achieve within the coming 12 months. While many vigorously pursue these plans, some abandon theirs midway, making the plans mere annual rhetorics.
You know how plans work now. Plans don't really go straight forward. You might plan something, but it varies. Sometimes it takes a year, it takes 2 years or 3 years to achieve them.
To me this year, I achieved many things, which cannot be discussed with the one, but thanks to Almighty Allah.
While it is easy to set goals, achieving them, respondents say, can be an Herculean task.
My target was to walk a year experience, and well, as it is end of the year, we're already done, so I got that. Was to gain admission, I got that.
Let me see, I could not achieve all I wrote down that I intended to achieve. That's the reason why I'm saying even in spite of the fact that I could not achieve those things, I'm still grateful to God that I still have the life to live.
For these respondents, planning is important, as the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. They also unanimously agree that it is important to back up plans with action. In Lagos, Joel Ukbola, NTA News.
All right, let's take another break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now time for business news, and Benny is here. Benny, what's the latest?
Well, we have latest figures from UK's Department for Business and Trade, which reveals that total trade in goods and services, talking about exports and imports between the UK and Nigeria, sits at 6.9 billion euros, an increase of 18.5%, or you say 1.1 billion euros. Of this, 6.9 billion euros total to exports in Nigeria amounted to 4.0 billion euros, an increase of 11.3%. And if we're talking about figures now, it's 406 million euros compared to 2022. And total UK imports from Nigeria amounted to 2.9 billion euros, an increase of 30.0%. And Nigeria remains UK's 38th largest trading partner, accounting for 0.4% of total UK trade. Of all UK exports to Nigeria, 1.4 billion euros were goods and 2.6 billion euros were services. Taking a look at the energy market, oil prices fell on Wednesday, trimming strong gains from the previous session as major shipping firms began returning to the Red Sea despite continued attacks and escalating tensions in the Middle East. Brent crude futures fell 18 cents to $80.89 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were down 22 cents at $75.35 a barrel. Prices on Tuesday climbed more than 2% to their highest this month, continuing last week's upward momentum, which saw prices rise more than 3%, partly on hopes of U.S. interest rate cuts that could boost economic growth and fuel demand. And on the global scene, most global stock markets were closed on Monday and Tuesday in observance of Christmas and Boxing Days. However, European markets were higher on Wednesday to kick off the final trading week of 2023 as major indices around the world hovered near record highs. Here are some of the figures around the world. Just a few days to the close of the year, investors lost 139.34 billion naira as the all-share index declined by 0.34%. A total of 432.9 million shares in 8,901 deals, corresponding to a market value of 12.9 billion, were traded. Data shows 2% improvement in volume, 22% decline in turnover, but 41% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization is 40.4 trillion naira. Jais Bank recorded the highest volume of 35.4 million traded shares, followed by Transcap Nigeria 31.1 million and Unity Bank 25.1 million. Well, that is business news. News Extra continues with Yeri. Yeri, it's nice doing business with you.
Well, thanks, Benny, for those numbers there. Now, looking at other stories, enrollment process for the cash transfer of 25,000 naira to poor and vulnerable Nigerians by the federal government has commenced in all the 16 local government areas of Kwara State. Shola Wahid reports that the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, assured beneficiaries of prompt payment after registration.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, represented, said the financial assistance is to alleviate the suffering of the masses from the hardship caused by the present economic situation in the country.
In Kwara State, we will be having 105,735 beneficiaries who will be benefiting from this program. And the program will be cutting across 16 local government areas. and across the 193 wards.
Those whose names have been captured into the scheme are full of appreciation to the federal government for being proactive to their plight.
They will give me 25,000 and I will receive it for 3 times. I'm very happy as I saw my name on the list. So God bless federal government.
We are indeed very grateful to the government, to the federal government, for remembering us.
We thank the federal government for this opportunity and we pray that their tenure will be peaceful.
The enrollment exercise is expected to last for 10 days. In Ilorin, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
Now talking agriculture, Kano State government has taken proactive measures to ensure support given to farmers is fully utilized. Of such strategies is the community-to-community visitation to interact with the field soldiers to know on the successes and challenges in the rainy season, farming to improve on the season ahead. Yahanasu Hassan Barrow has details.
From community to community, officials of the Kano State Agro-Pastoral Development Project interacting with farmers alongside media personnel to hear about the developments so far on the 5-year-old project. The success stories by people like Zainab and Muhammad are that of improvement in their output achieved through training and input farmers received from the state.
So before the invention of these great organizations, we were not able to produce more. But now, alhamdulillah, we are coming across.
We are expanding the project to farming and partnering, because we are getting a lot out of this machinery given to us.
Seeds and pesticides, which are critical in every production, remain their challenge. This is why the project provides soil kits with extension agents as vendors and also serving as advisors for the innovation to be easily diffused. The project, which has more than 45,000 beneficiaries cutting across the 44 local government areas of Kano State, has also developed a model for sustainable relationships between seed companies and seed producers. This is one of the facilities initiated by the Kano State Agro-Pastoral Development Project under the Sasakawa Africa Association. In this facility alone, more than 1 ton of vegetables is being stored and preserved, which is one of the targets of the Agro-Pastoral Development Project. Apart from time saving, quality is also maintained when the vegetables are preserved here. We would like to know your next target to ensure that this facility is maintained.
The first thing we do to ensure that the facility is maintained is by making sure that the community are engaged, for them to understand the value proposition of the technology.
Hopes are high among farmers in the state for the next season, which Muhammad says they are ready to produce in large quantities to meet Nigeria's food demand. In Kano, Yahanasu Hassan Barrow, NTA News.
And away from Kano now, tailors operate on schedule if they must meet up with clients' demands. So, at festive season, where people often purchase more garments and visit tailors for their clothes to be made for the season, the challenges are always enormous for tailors to meet up. In view of this, correspondent Doris Akomoye, who visited some tailoring shops, brings us the situation report.
They are not smiling but focused, committed in delivering on points. Some cutting, sewing, tacking, others bottling, ironing and finishing.
So due to the high rate of customers, we've been trying our best to meet up targets.
To keep them coming, tailors must re-strategize in a creative and competitive world of fashion, design and style.
I think one of the major challenges of tailors is that they don't really have focus. And because if you have focus, you create a system whereby you can accommodate more customers. Like what I do personally, I try as much as possible to make sure that I bring in more hands.
Despite the man-hour spent, it is not without challenges arising from energy supply and other environmental factors.
The warriors, because of the money that we use for fuel, where that we were supposed to use for our business, we are using for fuel.
Customers will not take no for an answer. We are in here and it's a beehive of activities. People coming in to pick their fabrics and others trying to make last-minute purchase. And I have with me one of those who like good clothing, Dr. Tarilata Victor. He will be telling us his experience with his tailor.
It's not about the price per se. It's about the quality of the job. It's about, I don't like disappointment. When you say 5 days, 3 days, your word should be your bond.
Person on a soft ground to land, your fabric will come out as you want. But when you don't like give a deposit and you expect to come and pick up your fabric, and that's the major aspect of tailoring.
The season has equally created job opportunities for young people and reduce the insecurity challenge experienced during the festive period, while others prepare to face the challenges which characterize the first month of the new year. These tailors are already settled for the year. Enyeregoa Doris Akomonye, NTA News.
Tailors and disappointments. For some people, this area are 5 and 6. All right. Diet is essential for man's well-being, as all the energy for both physical and mental activity are fueled by it. Over time, dietary supplements have been introduced to augment inadequate nutrients in meals and to, above all, boost general well-being. In this special report, Haman Jabani takes a look at dietary supplements and how safe they are.
Dietary supplements, either in form of pills, powder or liquid, are all targeted in giving the body additional nutrients for improved health. How can one tell if he or she needs supplements?
Real essence of even having supplements, it's actually to support people who are convalescing, people who are just recovering from illness, who may not be able to make up for their dietary losses during illness.
Vitamins and minerals are said to help the body develop and function effectively. Although nutritionists say most people can get all the body needs by eating healthy, others may need a little extra nutrient boost. In addition to a healthy diet, it is evident that some supplements can be of benefit to an individual's overall well-being with little or no risks.
The supplement is very costly compared to other medicine. So I don't, even if I come across it, I don't used to patronize.
Whether it's psychologically, but you tend to see that it's working. Okay. Yes, there's adage in Hausa that if you are fine, you should add with qualia. Okay. So at least if you are okay, you should add something to it.
Naturally, I just feel what I consume, stuffs are just naturally okay for me. I don't think I need any supplement to enhance anything and stuff like that.
Medical experts say supplements may react with other medication an individual is taking or more pose risks owing to some certain medical conditions such as liver disease or surgery. In addition, some supplements may not have been tested on pregnant women, nursing mothers or children, and thus requires extra precaution.
The fact that something is in a plant doesn't mean it doesn't have chemicals. In fact, it has potent chemicals that may kill, that may destroy the kidney faster or liver. So, we do approve dietary supplements or complementary alternative medicine and give 2 years listing.
There is an increase in all of these metabolic disorders. So yes, there are consequences for taking some of these supplements, especially because they are synthetic and not natural.
Experts say no matter what the goal, when taking supplements, one thing is certain: they are not a replacement for a nutrient-dense health diet. Haman Jabani, NTA News.
Brilliant report there, Haman. Like to say, a word is enough for the wise. Another break is due. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. Governor Peter Umba has signed the Enugu State 2024 Appropriation Bill into law. Chika Ugu reports that the State Executive Council members are expected to work tirelessly to meet the stipulated performance of over 400 billion naira on capital projects.
2 weeks after the presentation of the appropriation bill to the State House of Assembly, top government functionaries, including the Speaker, Enugu State House of Assembly, Uche Ubu, converged on the Enugu State Government House to present the budget for assent. Having appended his signature on the appropriation bill, Governor Peter Mba appreciated the legislators for their expeditious review and passage of the budget. He explained that the state, for the first time in history, will spend over 400 billion naira on capital projects and therefore tasked the executive members to brace up in the mobilization of domestic revenue. The budget, he said, will, among other things, address the gap in social services.
We're expecting to mobilize over 300 billion from our domestic sources. And that hasn't happened before, but what it means is that we're all going to work tirelessly to ensure that these revenues are realized.
The governor solicited the support of the people of Enugu State in realizing his administration's vision of making the state the premier destination for investment and tourism. In Enugu, Chika Ugwu, NTA News.
And in Yobe, tolerance entrenches peace, and peace is a cornerstone for any meaningful development. This came to the fore when the leadership of Yobe State Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, paid homage to Governor Mai Mala Buni in the spirit of this year's Christmas celebration.
Christmas is a season defined by love, joy, peace, and unity. This perhaps is the reason the leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria Yobe State Chapter is demonstrating the virtues of the season by paying Christmas homage to Governor Mai Mala Buni, who it recognizes as a leader that runs an inclusive government and promotes tolerance in the state. This, the CAN leadership says, has earned him the association's Inclusive Governance Award.
We won this award because of your style of leadership that carries everybody along, irrespective of their tribe, religion, or region.
Governor Buni, who appreciated CAN for the visit, calls for sustained prayers against emerging national and global challenges.
When we look at what is happening in the world, it's not palatable. It is not confined to Yobe, it's not confined to Nigeria. It's a global problem. It's a global crisis, and we have to go back to God and ask for his favor, ask for his forgiveness, ask for his intervention.
The governor also expressed the readiness of Yobe State to host the 2024 Northeast Christian Association of Nigeria Women Wing Convention to further demonstrate the return of peace in the state. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Progress of any nation is predicated upon peaceful coexistence. Hence, Nigeria's desire for nation building can be achieved if religious leaders are on the same page in pursuit of peaceful coexistence. Joel Popola reports that this was the thrust of messages from Christian clerics as faithful celebrate Christmas.
Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa, with a population of over 200 million people, has over 250 ethnic groups and no fewer than 400 languages. This diversity and abundant natural resources makes it unique. Peaceful coexistence, love and patriotism are well encapsulated in all religion, with special emphasis on love for God and love for neighbors.
God has brought us as a nation together, both Muslims, Christians, non-Christians, non-Muslims, all together. It means we can stay together, forge a strong people unit, and move this country forward.
We are trusting God that, like the prayers we just prayed last, that Jesus will intervene into every dimension of life in Nigeria and bring peace to every troubled situations in our nation.
Religion can be a veritable instrument for national unity and guarantee nation building in tandem with the dreams of the country's founding fathers. Thus, religious leaders admonish faithfuls to refrain from antisocial activities like corruption and other vices, smearing the image of the country.
Can be one in terms of development, in terms of positivity. We can be one in terms of allowing peace to thrive.
Stakeholders unanimously agreed that religious tolerance and harmony is germane to nation building. In Lagos, Joel Popola, NTA News.
Another break beckons. Please remain tuned. Let's have a bit of sports now with Austin Edebudu as our guide.
As the Super Eagles of Nigeria fine-tune their preparations for the 2023 African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire in January, sports enthusiasts expect the coach, Jose Pesero, to avoid sentiments in the selection of final 27-man squad for the tournament.
I'm expecting the coach to look at competence and the present form of players in making the final shortlist for those who will be going there, instead of basing his judgment on past form or on the names.
The Super Eagles will open their campaign against Equatorial Guinea on the 14th of January 2024 in Group A, which has the hosts, Cote d'Ivoire and Guinea-Bissau. Meanwhile, as part of strategies towards fostering peace in the southeast, the Nigerian Army has organized sporting competition to promote physical fitness and improve civil-military cooperation with a football match which saw the defending champion Special Women Battalion Nigerian Army beating a Borno State NYSC team by 2-1.
To encourage the populace to support the Nigerian Army in its fight against insurgents, armed bandits, kidnappers, and other miscreants.
Fonda FC of Anyaragu clinched the 7th edition of 2023 Malafa Peace and Unity Cup. The thrilling final held at Government Secondary School in Dadara of the local government area of Nasarawa State ended with Fonda FC beating Kenya by a long goal.
At the end of this tournament, I'll look at those areas that are lacking, and I'll put them in the front burner to make sure that I perfect them in the next edition.
We tried the first time, we come second, and here today we come the first. It's not easy at all. It's not easy.
The winning team walked away with the grand prize of 700,000 naira, while Kenya received 500,000 as runner-up. The third place team, Giant Killers in their own right, were awarded 400,000 naira. A total of 32 teams participated in this year's competition with the theme, Let Us Engage the Youths. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Edemodo, NTA News.
All right, with sports done, let's now take a quick peep at the weather outlook for Thursday.
Most cities within the northern region are experiencing poor visibilities, and this satellite imagery shows more dust is expected to further deteriorate the horizontal visibilities of the extreme northern part of the country, leaving the rest of the country in horizontal visibility range of 2 to 5 kilometers. People living with respiratory health challenges are strongly advised to take the necessary precautions, as air quality is unhealthy across most parts of the country, especially the extreme north, where very unhealthy air quality is anticipated. And that's our bit from here. Please join us again. I remain Joyce Ogunleye.
All right, that's our package on News Extra tonight. Many thanks for being a part of it. Have a good night.